Thanks, everybody, and welcome to this really exciting event. Everybody here knows who Melissa is, but just let me do a brief summary of her quite illustrious background and career. So Melissa is the founder and CEO of Baked by Melissa, a multi-million-dollar mini cupcake empire, which she started 15 years ago. Today, there are 14 retail stores, a very healthy online presence, and 250 employees. She's also, as many of you know, a major social media influencer. This green goddess salad has 25 million views on TikTok, which I think that's the top record. I'm going to say you are the top. And you've got millions of followers on all forms of social media. She has a devoted following. It's really exciting to see her on that platform. She's a cookbook author. This is not her first cookbook. And she's also a mom. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to cover each one of those facets in our conversation today. Welcome.
Thank you.
I am super excited to talk about you and your entrepreneurial journey because your origin story is one of the most interesting stories I've ever heard. And I know it starts in a really unusual way. Will you tell us about how a setback brought you to this place today that you're at?
Brought me to the place I'm at today, but I guess the first one was when I was fired from my job as an assistant media planner in 2008 because I wasn't good at my job.
That's very hard to believe, but okay, we'll let you have that.
You want me to go into more?
I would love to hear it. So how many of us have ever been fired from a job and then the next day start the job? Okay, raise your hand. How many been fired? Okay. And then the next day you find yourself starting a new business with the help of your brother.
Well, I'm very addicted to opportunity and productivity, but I think I went home. I went right to my brother's office crying, and the great big brother that he is, he said, "Don't worry, it's the best thing that ever happened to you." Now he'll admit that he was just trying to get me to be okay. But he said, "Go home, bake your cupcakes, we'll start a business together." At the time, I was baking my tie-dye cupcakes for everyone and anyone, and I really believe, and I always have, in being responsible for the way that you feel. So I went home and I did something to make myself happy, which was bake cupcakes. And my friends brought me cupcakes because I love cupcakes. And then I sent them into work with my best friend's little sister. My best friend's little sister was staying with me in my Murray Hill apartment, junior, one-bedroom converted 3. She was interning at Allison Broad PR. Allison's agency is known for hiring all females and like getting all dressed up and being fancy. So I said, "Carly, bring some cupcakes into work with you tomorrow. You'll make new friends." In the back of my mind, my goal was for Allison to try the cupcakes.
Yeah.
And she did, and she loved them, and she put me in touch with her. She actually reached out to me the day after I was fired, asking if she could put me in touch with her caterer.
And then from there, it's just...
Then I went to, so then when I got that email from Allison, I said, "Of course," and I had a moment where I cried for joy, and then I ran to my brother's office and I said, "We got a tasting with Allison Broad's caterer. Let's go in there, we have a business already, and he could be a part of it." So.
And that's when you developed your logo
In minutes.
in the middle of that conversation, which is still your logo today.
Because it's perfect.
It's perfect. A tie-dye cupcake. And tell me about the tie-dye. Where did that tie-dye influence come from for you? What was that inspiration about?
I guess the inspiration is from the carefree culture of the 60s and 70s, classic rock music.
Peace, love, and happiness, yeah.
And it's vibrant and happy and colorful, just like me.
You literally were baking out of this apartment and delivering the cupcakes on the subway yourself. How long did that last for?
7 months. Actually, I was fired, I think June 28th, and I moved into my first commercial baking space on November 20th. And I didn't do it alone, to be clear, because I'm the co-founder and I have 4 other founders, which is...
That's another story.
Yeah, a great one of triumph. I surrounded myself with people who had skills that I didn't, my brother being one of them. His business partner was also our childhood friend, and I used to refer to him as my brother from another mother, and he actually created the logo in 5 minutes. He knew me so well, that would be, if I were a logo, that was me. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Well, it's great. And you come from a family of entrepreneurs, is that right?
I do.
So did that help you have the courage to go forward in this?
I did not have the courage.
You didn't?
No, my brother had the courage and the vision.
Yeah.
And I just did what he said, except for when I didn't, and that wasn't good for my family dynamic.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't appreciate that, but there were many family dinners in which I was or he was mad at me, but okay. We love each other.
So it's obviously you have so many wells of inspiration and creativity that come from you, and look at all of your various, I'm sure we've all had the cupcakes. I know I received them as gifts for many, many years through all of my babies activities and various events. But where does the inspiration for flavor and innovation come from you? I mean, I know you like to eat.
I live to eat.
Yeah.
It comes from everywhere because I love food.
Do you have a favorite flavor of one of your cupcakes that?
I do. Well, always available assortment. It's cookie dough, yellow cake, gooey cookie dough in the middle. It's just so good. And yellow cake and chocolate icing is delicious.
Yeah, classic.
And then we have our Valentine's Day assortment available right now.
Yes,
which
big
is
news.
It's inspired by a box of chocolates and like flavors that are better together because I like to eat cupcake sandwiches. Strawberry. I'm not a fruit and dessert person. The last talk I did earlier this week, one of the questions was, what is a food you don't like? And I said nothing, and I was wrong. Then my social media manager reminded me yesterday. She's like, I was thinking, it took me a while, I couldn't remember. It's fruit. I like fruit sometimes, but I'm very picky and like it's not something that belongs in salad or dessert in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Anyway, the strawberry cupcake in our Valentine's Day cupcake is amazing, made with real strawberries. It breaks that rule. There are so many delicious flavors in that.
So you had a huge following at the beginning from a lot of fashionistas. The fashion world embraced you. Do you think it's because the cupcakes were mini? And why were the cupcakes mini?
We made them small so you could try them all. When I was working at Deutsch, where I was fired from, being fired sucked, but they did me the biggest favor. And I used to walk home from the Google building in Chelsea to my apartment on 34th and 2nd. Love walking in the city. It's so fun. I would stop at the Clover Deli, which recently closed, unfortunately, and get 2 big cupcakes, because I could never decide what flavor I want. And then I would be like, I'll just eat a half of each, but I wouldn't, and I would eat them all. So we decided to make them small so you could try them all and not feel like I did after eating 2 cupcakes. And the truth is that it's the perfect ratio of cake to icing to stuffing to topping.
Yeah, it's a perfect bite.
Every flavor's under 50 calories. You truly get to like feel like a kid that gets to eat like, all the different kinds and try all the flavors.
Yeah.
It's just the best.
Read that you had imposter syndrome for a while. Can you tell everybody what that meant for you, what it felt like, and why you don't feel it today?
I still feel it today, to be clear. I probably feel it differently today than I did then because I also am confident today through earning it. I earned it. Started the business. I was in those first couple of weeks.
In your 20s, early 20s.
24.
Yeah.
I was 24. Hired from an entry-level corporate position, so what do I know? But here I am. It was like going on tastings, cold calling catering companies. Like, hi, this is Melissa from Baked by Melissa. I'd like to bring you a free taste of my cupcakes. And I would cry to my brother, like, who the hell do I think I am? Melissa of Baked by Melissa.
But that's who you
But
are.
You are. I was like sitting on the edge of my bed with my fake wall, and they picture me in a bakery, and I was just fast forward to like when I became CEO 8 years later. I didn't think that I could be or should be, and that was a good experience, I think.
Yeah, you've had a lot of those experiences where people have pushed you in a direction and you've had to overcome that self-doubt, right? You said you were a reluctant CEO, and then, of course, who better than you to run the company? And then we had COVID, right as you became CEO, a major turning point in the company and the business. She had to shut down all of the retail locations, every single one.
I'll tell this. My brother was our CEO for 8 years. Amazing to have a leader of the company that you share DNA with, and trust, and also challenging because it was my older brother. And then he is a true entrepreneur and needed to go off and continue to create. So we hired our second CEO in September 2016. It's really what the company needed. It was obviously outside of my comfort zone, but necessary. And I embraced it, and it was incredible. It became not only a partner to me in business, but also a friend and mentor. He brought me back to life and empowered me and taught me so much about business. And then on December 5th of 2019, he could no longer be our CEO immediately. It was for reasons that had to do with federal law that, I have a board, I have investors, what you need to do. So we had an emergency board meeting, and it was at night, and I was at home on the phone, and we just got on the phone, and they're like, so Melissa's going to be CEO. And I was like, what? And I remember mouthing to my husband, they're making me CEO. That's great. What's the messaging to the team going to be? Yeah, and I gave the spiel, and they clapped for me, and it was very nice. And it made me feel good. My biggest learning, and then COVID came, and I would do anything for the things and people I love. And Baked by Melissa is my firstborn child, as I refer to it. But obviously, I love my children more, which I feel like I need to start saying because they're old enough to potentially hear this. But I would, that was just such an incredible experience for me. It's what truly was being a parent. I wasn't nervous. I knew exactly what needed to be done, and thank God I was in the CEO seat.
Direct and drive.
Yeah, and even my investor, who who is a very dear friend, and we've been working together for many, many years, like he trusted me more than I trusted me, and that was, but my biggest learning, and it's so nice that we have a room of women, because my biggest learning from that whole experience is, I think, maybe not 100% of the time, but I have found that men are overly confident and women are not like confident enough. Like, why wouldn't I want to be the CEO? I know the business better than anyone, and also if I'm not good at something, I hire somebody who is, right? But I would have never said like, I want to be the CEO, and they wouldn't have let me for whatever, but that's like a whole other, would have been wrong. Well, never mind. They would have, the people who made me CEO, not. I just think it's important as women to like know that you can do anything men can do and more, because you could also have babies.
Amen to that. And you were the one who directed the whole repositioning of the marketing in COVID, which I think was also really a brilliant move. And that's a story worth telling too. When sales started to decline, what did you do to create that hockey stick effect?
I'm obsessed with our customer and like connecting with her, because, you know, I'm our customer too. And I just think it's important to more than just try and sell cupcakes. So but our messaging was like, bring cupcakes to the birthday party, and the birthday parties weren't happening. So we got together and we came up with, everyone was stocking up on toilet paper. That was like the big thing at the end of February. So it was like, stock up on cupcakes. If you can't be there to celebrate in person, send cupcakes. And that was a small part of so many incredible things we did as a team to really transform our business and pivot with the changing times to continue to get to the other side, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think what was so interesting is the playing field was really leveled for me as a new CEO that was very much outside of my comfort zone. Being outside of your comfort zone is very important. Doing things that scare you, highly recommend it. So it was just like, the one thing I had was, I love this business so much, and I know this business so much, and I care so much. And I think that, and not only me, my team, you know, they really, all of us, and my husband is also part of Baked by Melissa, and at the end of the day, like, that is the most important. Going to sleep at night and thinking, what am I gonna do? You know, so we went from like worrying about sales and transactions to like having conversations about capacity in the bakery.
Yeah.
We went from like sending people home and not knowing when they were gonna come back to like begging them to stay, and like writing one-sheeters to like give to their family to tell them all of the measures we were taking to keep them safe.
That's really impressive. And so it just rebounded, and you went to a delivery model for the business?
We are a vertical business. Mm-hmm. We also ship our product nationwide, guaranteed safe. You could choose your arrival date, and it is the best gift for everyone and anyone, just saying. And we always did. We also do all of our baking in New Jersey in big bakery, and that's how we distribute to our stores. So we focused on what we could do, which was continue our e-com business. Yeah. And it was really a crazy time to be a leader, because nobody was saying what to do.
Right, no blueprints.
So then on March 13th, which was very early, I just like was like, we need to shut our stores. Like, we need to keep people safe. That's our obviously, the safety of humans is our top priority at Baked by Melissa, and it should be for everyone. Yeah. So we did that as a way to lead by example, but we continued to run our bakery. We did social distancing. We had it sanitized 3 days a week, which cost a ton of money, but obviously whatever we needed to do. We had PPP. We were like black market PPP. I was involved in like finding masks and whatever I could do. And then we reopened our stores.
Well, it's a real story of resilience, I think, and dedication and motivation. Okay, we have to leap now from cupcakes to kale, which I don't think, it's not an obvious leap. It's not an obvious jump. But I tell you what, if you read this book and you understand what lies behind it motivationally, I said to Melissa earlier, this is a book about family as much as it is about food. And it's really heartening for somebody like me who cares a lot about family and food, was raised that way. And, you know, it started with TikTok. Can you tell us more about that? And what about Lizzo? And what about all that?
I felt as though with Instagram that I did, like, I kind of missed the boat a little. Like, not really. Like, we've always used social media as a resource, but Baked by Melissa is older than Instagram. Yeah. So when Instagram came out, like, I didn't immediately recognize it as a resource for my business, and I just made this promise to myself that I would next time. And TikTok was the next time. And before COVID, I had been having many conversations, like kind of over and over again with my team, like, like we could do better. Like people aren't responding to the content that, like, you know, I know like we're in the bakery, we're showing like how we make the cupcakes, but like look at this brand, they have all these followers. We could be like that too. And then COVID had me at home, like working from home more often for the first time ever actually. And I thought it was a good opportunity to get to know TikTok. So I just like created another account, and like all the time, like every night I'll like make or like concoct like a dessert, you know? So I just started playing around and like making videos as a way to learn how to use the app. And they were doing very well. And it was on my other, you know, burner account. That felt like a waste. So it
migrated.
Posted a salad to Baked by Melissa. And that, the first one I posted got 34 million views. It was a Mediterranean chopped salad. I was like, what is happening? I started the video by saying, this salad is the reason I married my husband. You know, like I like that. Like I get it. I'm a scrapbooker.
Yeah.
I used, not like real, but like my friends in high school got me like a hunk if you like scrapbooking. Like I love. So it's like a virtual scrapbook, truly. Like I love putting that together. So that salad did well, and then it became like, okay, now what? And I then started having the same types of conversations. Same conversation, like, okay, what would you prefer? To grow a community of people who come to you for something and trust you and building a relationship, or posting videos about cupcakes?
Right.
And they were like, the first one. I'm like, great, I'm gonna post salads. And it's a unique situation because I'm the face of the brand. We did market research in 2017. We spent all this money for them to be like, Melissa is the soul of the brand, like whatever Melissa thinks, and which was really helpful for me at the time.
Well, it's got to be confidence building to go into this other direction.
So, but yeah, it's like, well, I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Nobody sees it, so great.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
And so it's just me being true to me and sharing another thing that I love, and I think people feel that very much.
Yeah, it comes out on every page. Even the title of the book, Come Hungry, is something that was directly taken from what your mother would say to people when she was hosting an event or a party, and people would say, like we all do, what can I bring? And her mother would say, nothing, come hungry.
Just come hungry.
And I love that. I really love that, because that's what everyone who's a chef wants. They want people to come hungry.
It is a great title. It took a long time to figure out.
It's great. But it's also your mother-in-law in this book, right? So that you had this big awakening on the food front when you spent a lot of time with her in Israel, and looking at how the Mediterranean diet and how small plates were, I don't know, just transformative for you. You want to chat about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're all like a product of our relationship. I'm just very like open and honest about it. Like I am what I eat, you know, like, and who I am around, and I like to absorb like the qualities that I think are great in others and like make them my own, you know, like learn from people.
Adaptive.
Yeah, embody who you want to be. And so I'm very influenced by my relationships in food too, and started dating my husband. I met my husband the day we opened our first store. So like it's similar timeline, Baked by Melissa, and I went back to Israel with him for the first time maybe 2 years later when we were dating, or maybe a year later. We were sitting at my in-laws and
feeding you nonstop.
Like my mother-in-law is the way like my grandmother was.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like I don't know, in Israel it's just like, yeah, she is like a Jewish grandmother, just eat, eat, eat. And this salad was put on the table. I mean, all the salads were incredible, but it was just like iceberg and like this simple dressing, and I like ate it and I was like, what did I just eat? Nobody spoke English. She's like, shum and melech, and like she's like, I'm like, it's like garlic and oil, vinegar, literally like a simple vinaigrette. Her salad is in this. It's just iceberg with lemon, olive oil, garlic, white vinegar, and salt and pepper, and I could like drink it. Like it is so good, and it really actually always been making salads and micro chop and all this stuff, but that dressing really just like, it was like the catapult for me. Like it just kept making more salads, and then I mean in Israel, no matter what meal you're eating, there are salads, like little small plates, and like my mother-in-law on Fridays for Shabbat makes all these salads, and then she puts them in Tupperware and she serves them in little bowls.
Maybe there's a little compulsion, because how many days in a row consecutively have you posted a recipe of some sort on TikTok? Hundreds, 600, 900?
I took a week off in October for the
All
first
right.
time in 3 years, but it's
Every
over
day,
1,000.
every single day. If you're not following her already on TikTok, make sure that you're doing that.
And I have a little help now. I have the best team ever.
Well, we know that from working with them here. So that's, they're an amazing team. So, all right. So what are you going to make with us today?
We're going to make the Green Goddess, the world famous.
Are you ready?
And then I'm going to show you how to have it the next day. We're making the Green Goddess. I made this salad for the first time because I was going next door to eat pizza in my neighbor's backyard with all of our kids, and I wanted salad and I wanted to make one that I was going to eat. These are the ingredients I had in my fridge, and I love the color green. It was like, I'm just going to use all the green things I could find. And then I ate it, and I knew how good it was going to be, but I had no idea that this was going to happen, and I'm just so grateful that it did. So thank you guys. So cabbage is great as a base because it's hearty and it holds up, and you could use it and put it in the fridge, and it won't get soggy. Like my mother-in-law's iceberg recipe that's in the book, and most of the salads, unless it's a green salad or a cabbage-based salad, you don't want to dress it until you're ready to serve it. And then you could still eat the leftovers though that are dressed, but you put that on toast. I'll show you too. So this you could dress in advance, and I am not a formally trained chef or anything like that. Ben and I really love to cook. It's our shared passion. So when we were dating, it took us about a year to learn how to share a small New York City kitchen together. And then once we did that, we were unstoppable. We were just one meal Sundays, inviting friends over. We love to cook as a way to express our love.
And that's your favorite knife you're using, I think, right?
It is. It's a Sean 7-inch Beaver. We have it in our Amazon shop, linked in our bio if you want to get it. We've sold many. Yeah, so I just get the cabbage super small because you want everything in one bite. And I think with most of the salads I make, it's a smaller chop, and that's because I'm trying to deliver you the perfect bite and ratio of flavors, just like our cupcakes. It's the same exact thing. I've been told by my husband, I'll find him staring at me while I'm eating because he's like, it's just so sweet how much thought you put into your bite. I don't know. I never realized. It is a labor of love. I'm not going to lie. There is a lot of chopping involved.
This is where your children can be helpful if they're above the age of 5, I think. They can learn some knife skills.
Yeah, my kids are, I let them use the knives. They're 5, or one of them is. Carefully, we talk about it, and they're not doing this. I think, really, people ask, how to get good at chopping, just chop. And if you're making this salad for the first time, there are a couple of tricks, actually. You could use a handheld mandolin for cabbage, but you gotta be very careful.
Very careful.
And you gotta pay close attention to what you're doing. You could also use a peeler, but that would take even longer than chopping. You could use a food processor, or you could just...
I think you said this was where you get your alone time or your relaxation time with your chopping?
It's free therapy.
Free therapy.
I really like repetitive tasks. Yeah, well, you guys. It's funny because even before I was making videos of it, because we will always cook for friends and family, even more so before we had kids, and my friends would just come and sit at my kitchen counter and watch me chop, and they'd be like, this is great, just keep chopping. I'm enjoying it. And my best friend is gluten and dairy free, and that's how the chip got started. She would come over, and she was single for a few years when I had met my husband, so she was our third all the time, and she would come, and I would make her favorite salad, and she would I would always have tortilla chip for her because they're gluten and dairy free, and she's challenging, and she would dip her chips in my salad. So that I was thinking of Barry when I dipped my first chip, and everyone was like, ah! That was everyone loved it.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah.
How many people here make dinner most nights of the week? How many people cook dinner?
Me too. I make dinner almost every night because it's so much better than going out.
Yeah. Not always easy to do when you're running a business and you've got a couple of kids.
It's not easy to do when you have children who they're not salad eaters yet. But we're getting there. They will be. I know they will be from pressure. No, but they eat some stuff. Sometimes I'm just a short order cook. I make for everyone because we all, my husband and I really love watching them enjoy food. Maybe I will have egg whites, pasta, and a Scotty salad. That's I make a salad for my 7-year-old. That's every vegetable she will eat. 75% of the time she's like, ah! It's all in the same bowl. My 5-year-old loves steamed broccoli. That's her favorite vegetable. My 7-year-old will only eat it if I say every piece of broccoli you could have 5 minutes later. That still works. It's not going to work for much longer. But they're good. It's fine. They eat simply, and my older one is more into trying things. It takes time. I get it, and I truly believe that they will. Everyone wants to talk to them about their mom's salad. It's helpful, your mom's salad is so good. You should try it. I don't have to do anything. So they'll get there. I know they will. So you really just fill up the bowl with as much cabbage as you've got. Sometimes it's a small head. Sometimes it's a bigger head. It really doesn't matter. And really my view on all recipes, I think. But I think you should follow every recipe. First time you make it, follow it once. And then you probably know what you like. Cucumber, I don't always include every step because it's many cut to get that perfect little square.
Cucumbers. You seem to use
Persian.
those exclusively.
Yeah, so I went when I was dating my husband. I don't know if maybe there weren't as many Persian cucumbers weren't as readily available because I would get like the long ones that would come in those like
English
plastic-
ones without
English
the seeds. Yeah.
cucumbers. That's right. And I started cutting the seeds out because like they were if you're doing a fine chop like that's very seedy unnecessarily. So these are great. You don't have to cut the seeds out, and you could do whatever you want. You could leave the seeds in too. But yeah, because it's not crunchy, the seeds. I always have 2 packs of Persian cuke in my fridge at all times. Even if you have nothing else, you can make the best salad with just 6 Persian cucumbers. Also in the book, I eat it almost every day.
What's in your pantry, Melissa? Like if we went in and opened the refrigerator right now, what would we find?
In the refrigerator. Or
Sorry,
the pan.
well, both. Let's talk about both.
Okay, where should I start?
Start with the refrigerator.
Well, the refrigerator is very stocked right now, like because yesterday was content day, which is the day that I make 6 of the 7 recipes I post, and then I or my neighbors or my team or a combination eat those foods for the rest of the week. What do I have? Right now I have 2 containers of milk because somebody opened the new one before they finished the old one. And it's taking up so much space, and there's like that much milk left in the first one. I guess like now that I'm saying I pour the one into the other. We'll start on the doors. We actually don't have that many condiments. I have cold brew, some high noons, some Kewpie mayo that I tried, which is great, but we're not like a mayo house, and lots of vegetables.
Vegetables.
And herbs and salmon that I'm going to make for dinner tonight, and my husband's defrosting steak that he's going to make. We were both planning on making dinner, so we're going to make it all. And we're actually going to bring some steak to my neighbor whose daughter really wanted steak last night for dinner, and today's her birthday, so
All right.
we're going to
That's
make
great.
her steak.
And what about pantry? You have various spices that you always have on hand.
Yes, well, believe it
Za'atar.
or not, some of the spices are in my refrigerator because that's where Adi puts them, my husband, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, really? Does that
from
keep
the
them-
shuk? They're from Israel, and we have spices in the fridge, and we have the same spices in the cabinet, and sometimes I use the one in the cabinet. I'm not sure why they're in the fridge, but yes, it's got to be because it keeps them fresher.
Yeah.
And maybe like in a hot climate, that's more of like a thing.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
we probably don't need to do that here. Sweet paprika and oil is incredible. It's harder to find here, but I love it. Cumin, which I didn't always like, but I love. Turmeric. I have lots of turmeric root and ginger root in my fridge right now too, because it's like lots of whole grains like farro and bulgur and couscous and rice. I have like a whole door of my pantry with all the dry goods in Rayo's jars and OXO containers.
Yeah.
Now they're in OXO containers. Now it's split between Rayo's and OXO. Hominy, popcorn kernels.
What about legumes? Are you a big bean eater?
Yeah, we always have chickpeas, and my 5-year-old loves rice and beans from like her daycare days.
Yay.
Oh my God, loves. Like she gets so excited.
Chive, I can't see.
Chives,
from here.
it's
Yeah.
chives. I grow chive, parsley, oregano on my roof, which is so fun. I always have it. And rosemary and thyme. Yeah, whole ingredients. I believe in whole ingredients. My kids don't believe in whole ingredients as much as me. You know, they eat a lot of other stuff. Everything in moderation.
Do you have great purveyors in Hoboken? I know it used to be a big Italian community there. It's probably great butchers and fishmongers. Are they still there? Or?
We have some delis that like the fresh mozzarella. There's
Yeah.
always like not as much, but we have an incredible farmers market
Oh, great.
in Hoboken that ended a few weeks ago at the end of December. But we have our farmer that we still get all of our meat from. All the local farms come. There's one in Jersey City on Sundays. There's one in Hoboken on Saturdays. That's the salad. If you don't like an ingredient, you could use something else, but it's very delicious. And now for the dressing, which is just like a salad too. It's all like nutritious and delicious ingredients. Is 1/3 cup olive oil.
It's in the book.
Yeah, it's in the book. Read the book and you can make it. The juice of 2 lemons, always and forever. Sometimes I use more than 2 if they're little lemons or they're not juicy, you know. The trick to making a good anything in the blender, in my opinion, is put the liquid in first because that helps it blend easier. A great lemon juicer. It's KitchenAid. When my husband got it, I was like, oh, why did you get a new one? I don't like it. It's so heavy. But oh, that was a juicy one. We do the juice of 2 lemons, and then the other liquid is white vinegar. White vinegar is just amazing. You could use it to clean, and you could use it in dressings. It's really delicious. That's one of the secret ingredients in my mother-in-law's iceberg lettuce.
Seems like such a throwback ingredient. You know, you're not using a champagne vinegar or something fancy.
Champagne vinegar I find to be very
Sweet. Yeah.
And then what I do, this is like all in my head, I put the herbs in. So the spinach is in this recipe really just to give it volume because everybody likes a lot of dressing, and then also to make it even more green stuff. I think I just had spinach too, but it really worked. And then basil. This basil is a little sweet. I tried it before you guys got here, which is interesting, but all basil is slightly different. So then garlic, 3 small cloves, 1 small shallot, raw cashews, but if you don't have raw cashews, you could just put salted cashews or walnuts, pumpkin seeds, or anything that's gonna help make it creamy. Nutritional yeast, I started using when my husband decided to go vegan for 2 years, and I was like, bought cookbook and, used it as an opportunity to start making new things.
What does it lend to the dressing?
Cheesy-like flavor, lots of vitamin B, creaminess, delicious actually.
Wow. Anybody cook with
really
nutritional
good
yeast before?
popcorn.
Okay, I'm super behind the times.
I buy Bragg's, but I buy Bragg's. I recently started buying it on Amazon because I use a lot. I blend it till it's good.
Can I take that around so people can smell it? Would that be okay?
Wow, it's so good, and it doesn't. Yeah, and I put salt.
Yeah, do.
Before I forget again.
Yeah, I don't see a pepper mill.
I have to blend it again. I see pep. All right, well, we'll hold off on the pepper for now.
Now, are we dressing the salads with this dressing, or is it pre-dressed?
We have more. I'm
Okay.
gonna dress this salad.
Okay.
With this dressing.
Oh, you could put that on pasta.
You could put it on anything. You could drink it with a straw. It's so good.
Yeah, it's the basil, right?
And it's all nutritious, Dress the salad. And you could use as much dressing as you want because it's all good for you. I'm gonna also show you how to eat this as leftovers. That is delicious. And yes, the last time I made a green goddess, it was like holiday because maybe it was like Hanukkah. I don't know, but the last time I made a green goddess, I actually did eat it with cottage cheese on toast, and I did post it to TikTok, and it was really quick, and it did so well, and we were like, whoa, we should do more short videos, because that's easier. There are so many, salad's great, because it's like it's so many vegetables, and think about how much time and effort goes into making it, so I think it's important to enjoy it the next day just as much, if not more, as you did the first day. So more recently, I make salads just to eat it on toast. Cottage cheese a lot of the time. It's delicious. You should try it if you haven't. I know the texture could be off-putting. You could also eat it with avocado on toast. Okay, so I'll show you guys how to make the most delicious toast. It starts with a pan, little half piece. You want to drizzle some olive oil so toast is great in the toaster oven, but this is also a great way to have toast, and it's pretty simple. You drizzle your toast with olive oil, put it down on the pan, get the other side done, and you wait.
How about what's the brand of that olive oil in the drizzle bottle?
It's Graza. The secret is to not use your fingers, but rub it with garlic right when it comes off. So good. You could just eat it plain and sprinkle it with sea salt. If you don't have raw garlic, you could just use powder, which I do, but put the garlic powder on also after because it would burn on the pan. We're gonna fry an egg. This is the perfect way to fry an egg, in my opinion. You get some oil on the pan, crack it, some pep and salt, and then just cover it for like 2 minutes. And I actually will time it because that's what I do. And then it's done perfectly every time. So it's a Vital Farms egg, which are the best eggs. They may be a little bit more expensive, but I promise you they're worth it. And the yolks are so bright in color. And I actually find that the black box, that's not organic, and I really do believe in organic ingredients and produce especially. But I've been buying the black box recently because the yolks are even brighter. It's my theory that those eggs are coming from even smaller farms. So put some avocado on toast like that. The egg's still going. It's very important to season as you go. You can't just put it all on the top. The lemon juice on the avocado and pepper, salt, and then I already seasoned the egg. I even seasoned the toast you saw. And
You're going for a jammy inside of the egg? Is that the idea?
yeah, like a runny fried egg. They're so good. Best in class egg. All right, well, since the egg is going to be done in like a second, put the green goddess right on top of the avocado. This picture in the book, by the way, is what I wanted to be the cover of the book because it's so beautiful. And then you top it with your your egg. Wow. And that is like the best lunch ever. And you didn't even have to make the salad because it's left over.
Wow, everybody, that looks so great. How was it? Was it delicious? Yeah, so good.
And I feel like it's only right, and it looks so good. And come on, this is how I end every video, so I'm gonna take a big bite of it. But I did see a camera. The truth is, well, I used to use my Paisano bottle, and my phone is usually just right there, and I'm like, I feel like I'm not gonna eat it. It's gonna be so messy. Fine, I'm gonna do it. Well then, if I'm gonna do it. But this is the problem with this toast, but it's worth it. And then you'll.
Yay!
So good.
How long could that stay in my refrigerator, that beautiful bowl of salad?
How long could it stay? Like for you to want to eat it still? Like 3 days?
I think if you follow her on social media, you'll be up to date as you can ever plan or hope to be. So, Instagram, TikTok,
But
Facebook.
there will be more. There will be more. I think the beauty of Baked by Melissa has been to trust the evolution. As far as Baked by Melissa goes, we are focused on getting our product into the hands of people who don't only live in the New York area in other ways besides just shipping it across the country. Although it is a great way to get Baked by Melissa.
Can I share the Valentine's box with everybody so that they can see it? So for me, this was one of the most exciting parts of today was receiving this gift for the staff, which is their brand new Valentine's Day box. So coming up soon, this will be on your website.
It is on our website right now, and you could also, for any Baked by Melissa enthusiasts in your life, you could get Valentine's Day box that has a 25-pack in it and come hungry. Because I hear from a lot of people that I'm in bed with them and their spouse at night. A lot of men tell me, you're the last voice I hear. My wife is watching you. So you know what? That's the perfect gift, right?
Well, I think that's the perfect note to end on. So, Melissa, thank you.
Thank you.